Hello, welcome to Cinema Savvy and welcome to 2017's Academy Award predictions. We did a video very similar to this last year and we enjoyed doing it so much then that we're doing exactly the same thing now. So I'm Chris Garner, joined once again with my co-host George Aldridge and Tayte George, and we're going to get competitive with this one. We are going to pretty much go through all the categories with a first choice and a second choice. Basically how it's going to work is on the night of the Oscars, we will do a live stream. The night of the Oscars, I believe, is on the 26th of February, so we'll be live streaming throughout the night. And to make it a little bit fun as the night progresses, we will be seeing how many predictions we've got right, and we'll see who the all-out winner is at the end. So if our first choice is correct on the night, that will be worth 3 points. If it's the runner-up choice, that's worth 1 point. And then we add them all up at the end and we see who's the winner. So how this is going to work is we're just going to go through all the categories now, each individually listing our first pick and our runner-up pick. And I believe we're kicking off with best visual effects. So do you want me to start on this one and then we'll pass?
Could I just remind everyone that I won last year?
Yeah.
Tate finished last.
It was very close. It was very close last year, actually. I think it was like a point or two difference, wasn't it, between all of us? 3 points.
Spotlight.
No one got Spotlight right because everyone's forgotten about Spotlight 2. Never forget that.
Everyone will remember The Revenant, though, which is weird.
Yeah, because The Revenant's not as good as Birdman. I love a year after the Oscars because you're like, why the hell did anyone like that? It's always a good time. Yeah, and are we going to talk about that fan thing quickly? Or
yes.
Yes. Yep.
I kind of had this ingenious idea that the predictions game's fun, it's competitive, and it's just a laugh. We want you guys to send in your predictions, and if any of you guys win, we want you to come on Battle the Brackets, post the Oscars when we do a special episode. It could be about anything. You're not going to choose it, though. I'm going to say it from the go. It'll be something we choose. That sounds really nasty now. But no, whoever wins, just comment with all your predictions, your first choice, your second choice. I'll stick it in the spreadsheet, and we'll work out who wins. And then you can potentially join us and, just shout some abuse and have a good time, because that's what we like to do. But no, I just want to get out of the way before I forgot.
Yeah, absolutely. So best visual effects then, if we're kicking off. So first choice, runner-up choice. For mine, I'm going with top choice as The Jungle Book, with runner-up being Doctor Strange.
I've gone first choice The Jungle Book and second choice is Rogue One because it'd be really unfair if I didn't say Star Wars once.
Now, you did the same thing last year, George. With
yeah,
Star
but
Wars.
we already know that Jungle Book's won.
Yeah.
So it's irrelevant.
Yeah.
Jungle Book, second choice, Kubo and the Two Strings.
Awesome. Right, so next one, production design. Number one choice going La La Land, and second choice going Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
Number one, Hail Caesar. Number two, La La Land.
Number one, La La Land. Number two, Hail Caesar.
See, I
switch up there. On this, Chris.
No, I still have yet to see, and I'll watch it before Oscar night. I will watch it, but
I've seen an almighty 2 films nominated for an Oscar for this year, and one of them was Suicide Squad.
You've already listed you've seen John. You've seen.
Oh no, yeah, sorry, I've seen 5, but 2 I've picked.
Have you seen Star Trek Beyond?
No.
Have you seen Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them?
Yeah, but that got nominated for an Oscar doesn't count. I'm talking main Oscars.
Have you seen
Zootopia? No.
You haven't?
But I didn't see most films last year and I still won, which means that I'm impeccable.
Okay, fair enough. No, continue.
You'd be surprised we're a film review channel, wouldn't you? Sometimes. So, best original score now. I think this is going to be a walkaway winner, hopefully. La La Land, number one choice. And I actually didn't listen to any of the other scores for the other movies, so this was a guess for my runner-up choice, which is Moonlight.
I picked La La Land and second choice Passengers because there's no need of a second choice.
Number one, La La Land. Number two, Arrival.
Cool. We move on to best foreign movie, and I say this every year. I need to start watching more foreign films. I just never get round to it. I'm kind of inundated with all the ones we get. So this was pure guess based purely on the titles. Number one choice, A Man Called Uwe, and runner-up, Land of Mine.
Number one, A Man Called Uwe. That's, I don't know how you pronounce it, sorry. And number two, Tony Erdmann, As these awards go, you pick one with the best sounding name.
You guys have not done the research on this. As I am a massive foreign film fan, I know that the safe bet would have been with The Salesman, but I've put The Salesman at number 2 and Tony Erdmann at number 1. And funnily enough, the director of The Salesman, due to the latest US political situation, might not be able to come to the...
So that again, Tate, you broke up at the end there.
What it is, because Donald Trump's a massive racist, an Oscar-nominated director will not be allowed to attend the Oscar ceremony.
Right.
Have we lost Tate?
I think we're losing Tate. He's frozen on mine and the audio's cut out.
Joys of live streaming. Oh no, wait. Do we have him back? I don't know.
Tate is up a mountain. You think he'd have good reception? I know that's not how it works, but still. Shall we move on then and then get him back in and backtrack?
We'll have to keep him up with the ones he missed.
Cool.
Best editing.
Yes. I've gone La La Land for number 1 because obviously Whiplash won last time, and for runner-up I've gone Moonlight. I haven't seen Moonlight yet, but it's just a hunch I got because it seems to be the second popular one.
Yeah, mine's the exact same. La La Land number 1 and Moonlight number 2. And we still...
Yep.
Oh, do we have Tate?
He's breaking up loads, man. He's breaking up so much.
I don't know what's happening. Do we move on without him?
I think we move on. Just a reminder to everyone, get commenting, let us know your picks as well, until we can get Tate back with good audio. So best sound mixing, I've gone... I actually changed my mind on reflection. You told me like the film that you originally picked probably won't get it. I went back and looked at some of the previous Oscar winners. I have gone Hacksaw Ridge number 1 with Arrival as my second choice.
Wait, is this editing or mixing?
Mixing, sound mixing, sorry.
Okay, sound mixing, I've got La La Land at number 1 as Rogue One at number 2.
Okay. Sound editing, I've also gone Hacksaw Ridge number 1 and Arrival as number 2.
Sound editing, I've gone for Hacksaw Ridge at number 1 and La La Land. Yes, we have Tate.
Awesome. So Tate needs to backdate his editing and sound ones, right?
Editing,
right.
La La Land 1, Moonlight 2.
Okay, so we've all got the exact same one. Yeah. Sound mixing.
Sound mixing. La La Land 1, Rogue One 2.
Oh, we got the same. Well played. Sound editing.
Sound editing. La La Land 1, Hacksaw Ridge 2.
Okay, we're all up to date now.
Yeah.
It's not hard to guess the theme. It's La La Land. Right. Chris.
Actually, I think you two have probably nominated more picks with La La Land. I kind of backtracked on some of them, but we'll see on the night. So live action short, again, haven't seen any of these, so I went on these purely based on the name. Number 1 choice, I've gone Enemies Interiors. That's like probably a French name that I'm absolutely butchering the pronunciation of. And Silent Nights as runner-up.
I have gone for Enemies Interiors because it sounds absolutely fantastic. And Sing, although I'm convinced that's an animated film about a pig that's all over the cinemas right now.
I've gone for Enemies Within, the name of the film, and Sing at number 2.
Animated short. Now, this is often the case with these categories. I've seen one of these. Number 1, I've gone Piper, which was the animated short at the beginning of Good Dinosaur, I think it was.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
And Borrowed Time as runner-up, which I haven't seen.
I've gone for Piper for number 1, followed by Pearl at number 2.
I've got Piper number 1 and Borrowed Time number 2, but that was a very tough decision because I've seen Borrowed Time and it's incredible.
Which one's Borrowed Time?
I believe it's the one about Stagecoach Robbery.
Oh, no. Oh, I haven't seen that one then. This is going to be an interesting one. Best Original Song. Now, 2 nominations were obviously given to La La Land. The question is which one? Both of mine are the picks, but number 1, I've gone for Audition, The Fools Who Dream, and runner-up, I've gone City of Stars.
I've gone for City of Stars as my first choice and Audition at number 2.
I've gone for Fools Who Dream, Audition at number 1, and City of Stars at number 2.
That was so difficult because they're both great songs, but...
And you know that one of them's going to win.
Yeah, definitely. It does seem really unfair that it gets 2 nominations in Best Original Song. Like, I don't understand the reasoning behind that. But
Chris, it's an incredible musical. We agree that both of the songs were amazing, and to be honest, we could just fill up the entire category with songs from La La Land.
They are, but just pick the best one, and that can be the.
I always thought
okay.
you can only submit one for best song.
Chris,
yeah?
City of Stars or Audition? Which one's the better song?
Audition.
Okay, which one do people prefer?
I've heard City of Stars played more on like adverts and radio. But I think that's more accessible. But the big show-stopping one is Auditions. That's why I went with that. Best makeup. Now, George, you were kind of keeping me up to date on the live stream of the actual nominations. And I believe, to quote you verbatim, was, "Fuck off" in capitals. Suicide Squad has been nominated for Best Makeup. Which was pretty much my reaction too when I read your message. I guess we can say that Suicide Squad is now technically an Academy Award nominated movie, which is just completely boggles the mind. However, I have not gone for that because I think my pride just wouldn't let me. So my number one choice for best hair and makeup is Star Trek Beyond, followed by A Man Called Uwe.
My number one is Star Trek, followed by A Man Called Uwe. I would rather jump in a bin and rewatch Suicide Squad again than ever actually choose it to win an Oscar. Bad times ahead.
I am being small here, and I'm putting Suicide Squad and Star Trek Beyond at number 2.
Suicide Squad won't win because it's only got basically makeup on 2.5 characters, whereas Star Trek's got like
hair and makeup covers most of the characters in the film. If we look at Star Trek Beyond, they have 2 characters in the film. I have not seen A Man Called Uwe, so I'm not willing to risk it on that. I'm willing to say that Suicide Squad might be a winning film.
They won't allow it to happen.
Save it for the night. So for the night if that happens, Jesus Christ, I'm going to just rain hellfire down on them. Documentary short subject. I'm not a documentary watcher. I absolutely should be because I've heard there's some fantastic ones. I mostly stick to movies. So again, this was another guess. Number 1, I've gone with Watani, My Homeworld. And runner-up, I've gone with Extremis. I kind of just went with that because that's the name of the virus from Iron Man 3. So...
And that's precisely why I put it as my number 1 pick, followed by The White Helmets as number 2 in case it's a documentary on Star Wars Stormtroopers.
I put 4.1 Miles at number 1 and Watani, My Homeland at number 2.
Also, we got a documentary feature now.
This because it's not serious.
Well, I've actually got to say this is my runner-up. So, number 1, I've gone for Life Animated. I'm going to be honest, when I first saw it, Life, I thought that was... Isn't that the name of the David Attenborough, like, nature thing? No, I think that was probably subconsciously... I don't know. Life Animated is my number 1. And my runner-up is I Am Not Your Negro, which is not me being racist. That's the actual name of the documentary. And, George, you said... I don't know if you've heard things about it. You said it's meant to be really good, so...
Yeah, I've gone for I'm Not Your Negro first, given it was an unpublished book and it's got quite a lot of history, and followed by OJ Made in America because obviously OJ's got famous again with that TV show, so why not give him an Oscar too? Now,
I've got a really difficult choice here because there are 3 films which are clear front runners for the documentary, and I've got them all written down here, and I've got to pick 2 out. So I'm going to go with this. I'm going to risk it here. I'm going to go with 13th as my number 1 pick and Wiener as my number 2 pick, seeing as those 2 are the front runners, and then OJ Made in America is underneath. So I'm going to go with 13th, number 1, and Wiener at number 2.
And I think at this point now, apart from the films I haven't seen yet, we're out of the neck of the woods where I haven't seen a lot of stuff like in terms of documentary and everything. Best costume design. Number 1, I've gone with La La Land, and number 2, I've gone with Jackie.
Number 1, I've gone with La La Land. Number 2, Jackie.
Number 1, La La Land. Number 2, Jackie.
Is that the second one we've all got the same on? I can't remember what the other one was earlier that we've all got the same one on. That's pretty cool.
That category. We don't need to look at the design category.
Best cinematography. If we all haven't got the same number 1, then I'm just going to reach in the camera and just slap you all. Number 1, La La Land, and number 2, I've gone Arrival.
Number 1, La La Land. Number 2, Arrival.
Number 1, Linus Sandgreen, La La Land. Number 2, Bradford Young, Arrival.
This is what happens when you have a very boring Oscar year.
Yeah.
There's only one film that's going to win the awards. I'm not going to guess what we've all got for original screenplay.
Original screenplay number 1, Manchester by the Sea, followed by La La Land.
Number 1, La La Land. Number 2, Manchester by the Sea.
Number 1, La La Land. No, Manchester by the Sea. It's very interesting, Chris, seeing as you for this podcast, like Mandy.
Don't get me wrong. I didn't like Manchester by the Sea. You can find my review for that. I think it was the last video we did. It's got some good bits in it, but it is one of the most overhyped movies this Oscar year, and I don't think it deserves everything it's going for, but a lot of traction's been picked up about its screenplay, and a lot of praise has been directed towards it, so that's why I went with it. Best adapted screenplay, I've gone for Arrival as my number 1 pick and Moonlight for my 2nd pick.
I've gone with Moonlight as my number 1 pick and Arrival as my number 2.
I've gone with Moonlight as my number 1 pick and Lion as my number 2.
What I will say is about this Oscar year as well, sort of going off what George was just saying, how it's a crap Oscar year. I'm glad that a lot of, especially films like Hell or High Water, which was one of my favourite films of last year. I think it was in my top 5 that I did. And films like Arrival as well have been picking up this much traction. But the problem is there is a La La Land there, and it's just going to pretty much take them all. Best directing, La La Land number 1 and Arrival at number 2 with Denis Villeneuve, which I found out is the pronunciation. I've been pronouncing it wrong since the dawn of time, I think.
Number 1, Damien Chazelle. Number 2, what Chris said.
Number 1, Damien Chazelle. Number 2, Kenneth Lonergan, Manchester by the Sea.
Okay. Now we move on to the acting categories. So actress in a supporting role. I'm probably going to regret this decision. I should have switched these around, but I'm going with it. I've got Viola Davis from Fences at number 1 and Michelle Williams from Manchester by the Sea at number 2.
I've put Michelle Williams at number 1 because of normal Oscar politics and Viola Davis at number 2. No, I won this last year doing the same thing.
Yeah, I've put Viola Davis at number 1 and Michelle Williams at number 2 for the exact same reason that George has just stated, Oscar politics.
Michelle Williams is apparently the lead actress, and they've done what they did for Alicia Vikander and they bumped her down to supporting so that she can get the supporting award.
I would say it's best that she's in supporting because she is literally in about 3 scenes in that movie. And the main one that she is going up for the Oscar for, which, as I was saying to Tate before we hit record, is a fantastic scene from that movie. It's about 2 minutes, if that. And I think that, I haven't seen Fences yet. I've seen the trailer. It looks fantastic. Based on that trailer, it looks like Viola Davis has a much more prominent role in that. So that's why I kind of went with her. Not that that matters anyway, because it's all based on, politics.
I want to go ahead and say that the worst one from last season in that respect was Carol. Because that had 2 leads. One was definitely a leading actress and one of them was definitely not.
And if you didn't like that film, then you're a massive sexist.
So we move on to actor in a supporting role. This was a tough one. I kind of just went along with Manchester by the Sea here again. So number 1 pick is Lucas Hedges from Manchester by the Sea. And my runner-up is Mahershala Ali from Moonlight.
Thank you for pronouncing it. Mahershala Ali is my number 1 pick and Dev Patel is my number 2.
Mahershala Ali, number 1 pick, Dev Patel, number 2. George, you have obviously done research like I have on this subject.
I might not see them, but I know everything that's happening. I know who's winning what.
Yeah, same.
Sometimes you don't need to see them to know what's going to win, like last year. But yes, I will see them eventually. By the time the Oscars come around, I will have seen most of these films. Mark my words. I just rather wait until the nominations are out the way.
Like you're bluffing, George.
It's like Chris and Silence. Tate, what was your words to Chris? Silence is going to be up for loads of Oscars, isn't it? It's up for 1, or maybe 2 or 3, but it's winning nothing.
Review coming soon, by the way, folks. I saw that film about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Still haven't got around to it.
How much did you enjoy it?
It's a well-made movie, but it's so dull. It's so dull. Like there's no. I fell asleep for 10 minutes during the film, so that says everything you need to.
There you go.
Okay, now we're moving on to the big prominent ones now. Actress in a leading role. Now, I think you two have changed your number 1 pick on here, but I'm going to stick with it. I've got Natalie Portman down as number 1 from Jackie, and I've got Isabelle Huppert from Elle.
I've got Emma Stone at number 1 and Natalie Portman number 2.
I've got Emma Stone number 1, Elizabeth Huppert number 2. That is very interesting, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Because
I
Jackie
thought.
has no traction.
See, I thought it did when it came out. Whether it can maintain that, or whether it can make somewhat of a comeback, but literally the only actress I've heard in that category, name mentioned wise, is we've got Isabelle Huppert, who won the BAFTA, right? Golden, whatever it was, BAFTA. I can't remember. She won that, and then Natalie Portman's the only other name I've been seeing thrown around out there. And I know that Natalie Portman's been nominated a good few times. In fact, I think she won, didn't she, for Black Swan?
She did, but also we must remember that we are currently in a fucked up situation for politics, which is why they may opt for a dignified ex-politician's film. That's how this thing works. But yeah, I think Emma Stone's got it in the bag.
Yeah, and you know what? If she gets it, I'll be happy for her. I just don't know. Well, I haven't seen Jackie yet, but I don't know whether she was of that level to get the Oscar. We'll see. Actor in a leading role, I've got Casey Affleck from Manchester by the Sea as number 1, and Ryan Gosling from La La Land as my runner-up. I went for Casey Affleck as number 1 because I thought his performance was incredibly overhyped, very dull, very boring. Kind of fits the character though, but in that case, all the ones that I always find boring are always the ones that tend to win. So that's why I went for Casey Affleck.
I went for Casey Affleck because he is Batman's brother. And it's this. I believe, from what I've heard, Manchester by the Sea was his term to become Sadfleck. So he's my number 1.
He was Sadfleck the whole goddamn movie.
And Ryan Gosling is number 2, who I've got a bad feeling they're going to turn into the new Leo, hashtag he deserves an Oscar, hashtag although you haven't done your research and seen who else hasn't won Oscars before.
I'm just going to make this entire Best Actor subject null by putting Casey Affleck 1, Ryan Gosling 2.
That's fair enough. Animated? This is going to be interesting.
This is very interesting. Disney have got 2 picks, and one of them, more so than the others, has been picking up a lot more traction, which really surprises me. But I've stuck to my guns. I may be swayed by just my love for this movie. Number 1, I've gone for Kubo and the Two Strings. I'm really, really hoping it wins, but it is up against Disney.
Brooklyn. This year's Brooklyn.
Yeah, it is, yeah. And my runner-up, it was obviously a toss-up between Zootropolis/Zootopia or Moana. I've gone with Moana because I think from an animation standpoint, the animation in Moana blew me away a lot more than Zootropolis. However, I think if you're looking at the movies, Zootopia probably is a better movie in that it had some political commentary that you can apply to it, whereas Moana was very by the numbers of a Disney movie. Although I like that. I like traditional Disney. But yeah, Kubo number 1, Moana number 2.
Everyone knows I'm a massive fan of The Rock. He is my spirit animal, which is why my number 1 pick is Zootopia and number 2 is Kubo, because I haven't seen Moana and The Rock wasn't nominated for Best Actor, so why would I give him anything else?
Okay.
Tate's face for all of that was great.
Number 1 pick, Kubo and the Two Strings. Number 2 pick, the Disney film that is gaining so much more traction than Moana.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, the polls at the moment are 50% sway to Zootopia over all the others in the category. I've put in Kubo as number 1, so I'm willing to risk 2 points there, just because it's Kubo, but I'm not willing to risk putting Moana just because it's a better made film.
Tate, did you get to see Moana in the end?
No, I did not.
Check out the animation in that film. I think you'll be blown away by it. But yeah, it's amazing how much traction Zootropolis is getting, especially this close to Oscar season. So it might even have a good chance of winning. But I really hope Kubo gets it because I just think that it deserves it more. Okay. It's the underdog pick of the entire Oscars for me, that one. And that brings us on to our final category, Best Picture.
Okay, can I just say this category is going to be null. I bet this category is going to be null. I bet we're all going to pick exactly the same things as our number 1 and number 2 pick.
Maybe so.
I can assure you that your number 1 pick is La La Land.
Yep.
And your number 2 pick is Moonlight.
No. I went for Manchester. I went for Manchester by the Sea as my number 2. Again, because usually it's always a film that I don't really care about that wins. And Spotlight, although I loved Spotlight, I thought Spotlight was a great film. I haven't been back to watch it again. Got no inclination of watching it again. And that's very much the same for Manchester by the Sea, although I liked Manchester by the Sea considerably less than I did Spotlight.
I have seen neither Spotlight nor Manchester by the Sea. That's my opinion. My number one pick is La La Land because you're an absolute moron if you don't pick that. And in spirit, my number one pick would be Rogue One, but they just didn't nominate it because they're all blind. Just get it? Be blind for the Garrison. Chris did. And my number two pick is going to be Moonlight, but again, it's irrelevant because we know what's already won.
Yeah. Can you imagine if there's another Revenant situation this year and La La Land doesn't win?
Then someone would get shot. I mean, yeah. Let Tate voice his opinion.
La La Land has pretty much won the Oscars this year already. As far as the second film is concerned, Manchester by the Sea has been credited for its acting, has been credited for its directing. As far as a film standpoint goes, Moonlight is important at this point in time in history and is important to the Oscar demographic at this very moment, especially they're trying to proud and prove they're not racist and not sexist and not homophobic. So that's why I put it in there over Manchester by the Sea. Mm. And as far as I'm concerned, people have been giving it just like, I haven't seen a single negative review on Moonlight so far. Mm. So, like a lot of people have been saying Moonlight should win the Oscar, but they know that La La Land will.
Mm. Yeah, with Moonlight, it's an interesting one because I checked. We don't get it in cinemas in the UK until things like February 16th, February 17th. So it's one I'm looking forward to. It's one I actually don't know anything about. I haven't been following anything about the story of it or anything like that. I've just known that the hype that precedes it. So I'm looking forward to it. But maybe because I just went to see Manchester by the Sea and then did the prediction straight after, that kind of influenced why I put it at number 2. But La La Land's winning it anyway, so there's no problem with that there. So that covers it. That's all the categories. So I guess we can round off now. So again, be sure to leave all your predictions in the comments below. If you go for your number one pick and a runner-up for each of the categories, whoever gets the most points, we'll invite onto a future episode of Battle of the Brackets. Yeah, so that leaves us until next time, till the next video. Be sure to check out our Oscar live stream. We'll have times up once we know the times for the actual Oscars. And it's going to be a good one. It's going to be fun to see, especially for animated movie. That's the one I'm most looking forward to seeing this year. But yeah, there'll be more movie reviews coming out on the channel, more trailer reactions for me as and when they come out. So do hit that subscribe button. It's the best way to keep up to date with all of our content. And until the next video, we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.